It's been a tough year, but tonight we celebrate hope. We look to people around the world who take action against the world's daunting problems. They work every single day to safeguard the planet for future generations, protect the environment that sustains us, and ensure that every person can enjoy freedom, safety, and life with dignity. Tonight, we celebrate the 2021 Right Livelihood Laureates and their perseverance to fight for a better future for all. They show what courage can achieve and inspire action around the world.
Let your soul catch the feeling. Let me know when you feel it. Beautiful and revealing. Love gets control. Let your heart take a beating. Let it pound with the rhythm. Hear the sound and be willing to just let go.
Thank you, Loreen, for the amazing song, We Got the Power. Good evening and welcome to the presentation of the 2021 Right Livelihood Award live from Stockholm, Sweden. My name is Gina Dirawi and I am here not only as a host to guide you through this evening, but as a fellow human in urgent need of hope and change. Tonight we'll meet some of the bravest people on the planet whose hard work reminds us that it still is possible to change the course of our existence. Since 1980, Right Livelihood has boosted and impacted people all around the planet, boosting long-term and social change. And today, it's one of the most prestigious awards when it comes to sustainability, human rights, social justice, and peace.
Each year, the Right Livelihood Award receives hundreds of nominations from around the world through an open process allowing anyone to nominate inspiring individuals or organizations. After thorough research, a jury made up of international experts and previous laureates chooses the year's most outstanding changemakers to receive the award. Because of its history, it is often called the Alternative Nobel Prize, but there are many differences to the Nobel Prize. The Right Livelihood Award provides changemakers with long-term support. Right Livelihood also works to raise laureates' profiles, highlight their solutions, provide protection when their lives and liberty are in danger, and link them and their innovative solutions to academia. The award comes with a prize money of 1 million Swedish crowns, which along with Right Livelihood's work year-round, is made possible by generous donors from around the world. The laureates receive a sculpture created by Swedish sculptor Eva Hild. The Right Livelihood Award sculpture is made from recycled illegal guns, known as humanium metal. The material is often called the most valuable metal in the world, as the initiative contributes to removing weapons from the streets and saving lives.
And the sculptor Eva Hild is here this evening. Please give her a big hand. Okay, so tonight is all about our 4 laureates who are now amongst the 186 recipients of the Right Livelihood Award, hailing from 73 countries. And in the audience tonight, we have some laureate organizations like Survival, Memorial, Kvinna till Kvinna, and Laureate Paul Walker. Give them some love. Yeah. Obviously, we would love to hear what you guys think and feel all around the planet watching. Please join the conversation on hashtag Right Livelihood and tag us at Right Livelihood. We want to know what you guys feel about this evening, so please join the conversation. And now it's time to introduce the first laureate of the evening. Growing up in the northern part of Cameroon, Marthe Wandou wasn't a typical girl. Her parents wanted her and her siblings to have a proper education, which is still not common for girls in the region. So, with a law degree in hand, Marthe went and became a gender and peace activist. Since then, she's worked hard to prevent sexual violence against girls and the practice of early marriage. And so far, 50,000 girls has benefited from Marthe's work.
In my area, more than 40% of girls don't have access to school, to education, and I think it's very important. That's why I work for to make sure girls have also access to education. They can be more aware of how to protect themselves. And I know school protects more children than in the community. And being educated, they can also plan for their life and be more autonomous and so on.
In Cameroon, child and early marriage is still prevalent. 30% of women are married before the age of 18, including almost 11% before the age of 15. More than half of women experience physical or sexual violence from an intimate partner during their lifetimes. Marthe Wandou and her organisation Al-Deepa work with girls through self-help groups and girls' clubs.
They can share their experiences with those who are still traumatized to make them sure being violated is not my fault and life is still possible. I can start and then I can develop my skills and I can benefit from professional training. And even if I did not have a chance to go to school, I can still develop my skills and be autonomous in my life and to reflect more and to take more in charge myself and my family.
In the far north region of Cameroon, the presence of the terrorist group Boko Haram has put girls and women in even greater danger. Boko Haram is known for sexual violence against women. Wandou and her organisation help women who have fled the terror.
Some have been raped, some have been kidnapped, some joined Boko Haram maybe because their husbands were there or also their friends were there, and being with Boko Haram, some has been used like sexual slaves, and the husband has been killed, or sometimes children have been killed in front of them or kidnapped in front of them. So they think maybe living for them is not necessary. They consider themselves as somebody who is dead. What we do for them is first to go for psychological support, because this is where we can start with them to build their capacity, to make them having confidence themselves. Who want to go to trainings, we train them, but also we support them with financial means. Those activities can help them to send children to school, to also feed themselves, and to make sure they have a place where they can stay in the community and be safe of violence again. Sometimes I feel proud of what we achieve. It gives me strength and courage to work more for those women and girls.
And here to present the award is a member of the Yazidi community in Iraq. After being held and enslaved by ISIS for 1.5 years, she escaped, but was injured by a landmine as she fled. Today, she's a well-known spokesperson for women affected by ISIS sexual violence and an advocate for the Yazidi community. Please welcome Lamia Haji Bashar.
Meine Damen und Herren, vielen Dank, dass Sie mich zu dieser wichtigen Veranstaltung eingeladen haben. Ich fühle mich besonders geehrt, an der Preisverleihung teilzunehmen, die diese unglaublichen Menschen ehrt, die der Menschheit auf der ganzen Welt dienen. Ich bin ein jesidisches Mädchen, geboren in einem kleinen Dorf namens Kojo in der Region Sinjar im Irak. Meine Gemeinschaft und ich führten bis 2014 ein friedliches Leben. Wir respektieren alle Religionen und Ethnen und glauben an die Brüderlichkeiten der einheitlichen Menschheitsfamilie. Es war mein Schicksal, Opfer von Daesh zu werden. Als 15-jähriges Mädchen wurde ich Sklavin von IS-Terroristen. Ich war 18 Monate in der Gefangenschaft. Mehr als 6.500 jesidische Frauen und Kinder haben diese schmerzhaften Erfahrungen gemacht. Nach 7 Jahren der jesidischen Genozid befindet sich immer noch 2.700 jesidische Frauen und Kinder als Sklaven in Gefangenschaft von IS. Wir wissen nicht über sie. Als ich befreit wurde, beschloss ich, die Stimme all dieser stimmlosen Menschen zu sein. Denn Frauen, Mädchen und Kinder sind die ersten Opfer von Konflikten. Im Kamerun hat Marthe Wandou Überlebende einer anderen Terrorgruppe geholfen, denen von Boko Haram Terroristen. Sie hat sich auch für die Rechte von Mädchen eingesetzt, insbesondere damit sie über ihre Zukunft entscheiden können. Hoffnung zu haben ist für Überlebende Sexualgewalt unerlässlich, um zu heilen. Marthe und ihre Organisation machen Hoffnung, dass Gewalt Mädchen und Frauen nicht definiert. Marthe und ich teilen die gleichen Werte und Ziele. Und es ist mir eine Ehre, an der Seite einer so landschaftlichen Stimme für Mädchen und Frauen zu kämpfen. Daher freue ich mich sehr, Marthe Wandou den Livelihood Award 2021 überreichen.
Thank you, Lamia. Thank you. Marthe, you can come here. Thank you, Lamia. How do you feel? Are you excited? Yeah? So what would you say to people who argue that they marry off girls because it's tradition and it's the way it's always been done?
Yes, we talk to parents about how early marriage have bad consequences on girls, and then also education is the key and stone of the life of each human being.
How do you think that girls in Cameroon are growing up differently because of your work?
Yes, they grown up with now knowing their dignity, their rights, and also having them going to school for education, and those who did not have access can also have a second chance in terms of professional training, vocational training, and also having income-generating activities to plan better for their life.
Thank you so much. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and receive greetings from the far north region, Cameroon. At this historical moment of my life, I would like to thank the Executive Director and jury of the Right Livelihood Award for choosing me as a 2021 laureate, which brings a special strength to my work. Thank you for making this moment possible and for giving me the opportunity to become a member of the Right Livelihood family. This important prize makes me think of where I come from, the long way and difficult life, and the challenge faced by women and girls, especially victims in my region. Thank you to my colleagues for their commitment. Thank you to my family and my children for all the support they are for me and for my work. I promise to continue being a human rights and peace defender in my country, Cameroon, everywhere, and always to stand for vulnerable people, especially women and children. As a member of the Laureates Network, I promise to be a light and change maker for others. Thank you to all of those who support Aldipa's work. Thank you for everything. I love you all. Thank you.
Maxida Märak was born and raised in a small town up in the north of Sweden called Jokkmokk. She is a Swedish Sami joik singer, hip-hop musician, actress, and human rights activist. With a strong engagement for the rights of the Sami people, she hopes that her music will bring light to not only her personal experiences, but the experiences of her people. And tonight she's here to perform her brand new song, Now the Trees Are Burning.
Now the trees are burning down. Suddenly the skies turn gray. The time we had was yesterday, when the sun has gone away. Promises will be a waste, come what may.
They won't know. What if I can visualize lies and how we always used to live instead of compromise? Even though we try to change it all now, it might just be delayed for us to keep us safe from sacrifice. We've been saying this for such a long time, might just be a crowd that winds are blowing up. If I can fall asleep with stars lighting up the night, then maybe my daughter can still live to see the twilight. Who am I in 10 years? Right, they ask me, and I reply, if I can see what tree and lights with pine trees. I still have water clean to drink, then I'll be carefree. No money will save us now, we claim that I lost it. My elders live with scars marked into the skin. They told me to be kind, never bite the hand that let us in. We heard the wolves sing songs into the wind, so the fight against the nature is the one we never win. So
Trees are burning down. Suddenly the skies turn gray. The time we had was yesterday, when the sun has gone away. Promises will be a waste, come what may.
the trail of tear becomes a flood that keeps on bleeding. The raven lose the wings to fly, so birds not longer leaving. For warm and land, the snow becomes a tale we once believed. Protect the only land that we had left here to be free in. I hear the drums underneath speak for silence, never to be peace for those who preach of war and violence. Time to see break us free from poison realliance. I hear the young ones ask me how the fuck we lived in silence. I'm sorry for the seasons, the ones used to be shifting, and the snow that never came. Or you ask me once again if we can stop this ship from sinking. And who there is to blame, the left and with the burning for the shit is the oxygen is running out of time. To let the reconcile and smell and smoke of burning flesh and see ashes from a burning child is filling up the sky. So
Thank you, Maxida Märak. And now it's time to have a little chat. I have Ole von Yxkull, Right Livelihood's Executive Director, with me. How do you feel about the evening?
It's wonderful, and that was just the beginning.
Yeah, it's
looking forward to 3 more laureates.
Yeah. Okay, can you tell us a little bit about how were the laureates selected this year?
Well, we received nominations from all around the world. We had nominations from 89 countries this year. And we see in those nominations all the suffering, of course, in the world. We see the unspeakable injustice in how power and money and resources are distributed in the world. And we see the plunder of the environment, and we see the violence that people commit to each other. But we also see that many people are not prepared to take that anymore, and then that they get organized and that they develop alternatives. So there are just as many solutions as there are problems, and that is for our jury a really, really tough choice, you can imagine, and they try to find the 4, to highlight the 4 in the year that are most important to highlight.
Do you think
one year's laureates are really just the tip of the iceberg of all the wonderful work.
Do you think there is like a common thread with the laureates in their work?
Well, this getting organized is something that we really see in the nominations, and you see in all the laureates this year how they mobilize communities, because you can't affect change alone. The second thread, obviously, this year is climate change, right? We have the next 3 laureates all coming from countries that are aggressively expanding fossil fuels, and they see how citizens can fight back against that, and they prove how citizens can organize around that.
What can the audience and the viewers do to support the work?
Well, we have from today a special sub-site on our website that's called rightlivelihood.org/act now. And then I would say learn from the laureates, watch closely, watch and see how you can become a citizen really affecting change in societies, because I think the key is that we need to think of ourselves more as political beings, not as consumers. And then there's really no limit to the transition that we can bring about in our societies.
Do you have anything to say to people who have lost the hope that change is possible?
First of all, I would say I can understand that, because there is a lot of destruction going on, and a lot is also already too late. But then, I mean, if you take climate change as an example, it's worth to fight for every centigrade. It's worth to fight for every forest that we can preserve. So, keep on going and find strength in organizing together with others.
Thank you so much, Ole. Give him some love, please. Okay, it's time to present the next laureate of the evening. Vladimir Slivyak is a Russian environmentalist who has used grassroots methods to fight for better environmental protection in Russia. Vladimir and his organization Eco Defense have stopped several projects related to the exploitation of fossil fuels, the use of nuclear energy, and the shipment of radioactive waste from abroad, showing that it is possible to challenge powerful governments.
It's not that many people believed in the beginning that it's possible to achieve success. We started not because we believed in the success, but because we felt it's right. We have to do this, and then we'll see what happens. It happened back in 1989. That was still Soviet Union back at that time, and We've been a student group, and we've seen a lot of environmental problems around. So we wanted to change this situation. We wanted to fight for environmental rights for every human being. We wanted clean environment because we thought that's a fundamental right for every person. We are a campaigning organization. We do actions. We do talk to different financial institutions and banks about their policy. We do environmental education with kids and teachers in schools. Basically everything that's possible to do for the environmental organization.
One of Eco-Defense's major campaigns has been against a proposed Kaliningrad nuclear power plant, the construction of which began in 2010. Vladimir Slivyak decided to focus on cutting international investment for the project, lobbying international banks to refrain from providing financing. After sustained public protests throughout Kaliningrad, European energy companies and banks withdrew their support for the plant. By 2014, the Russian government dropped nuclear power from its list of energy technologies in Kaliningrad. This campaign was an enormous success, demonstrating the effectiveness of sustained grassroots action.
Somehow we succeeded to convince every financial institution and energy company in Europe that this project is so bad that shouldn't be invested. For the last 25 years, that's the first time when environmental organization was able to stop the construction of nuclear reactor in Russia. Not connected to any political parties or circles, without any support from government or anything like this, just the people power, just the international cooperation. I mean, that's all we had in the beginning, but we succeeded to stop it, and I'm really happy about this.
Slivyak has since sustained his grassroots pressure on the Russian government, launching campaigns against coal mining, oil drilling, and the import of nuclear waste from abroad. The government, while reluctantly and slowly, has begun moving towards more climate-friendly commitments.
The world is changing very fast, and very soon there will be no that big demand for Russian fossil fuel, and a country should really think in advance how to change and what will be the future for this country, because obviously there is no future with fossil fuel. We call on the government to start preparation, to change the policy in advance, to be prepared for a new world that so much concerned about climate. The general approach of Russian government is still about extracting from the ground and continue to sell it for as long as possible. And basically the attitude right now is that we will do this as long as it's possible, and then we will see. I mean, we still have a lot of things to do with Russian government, and we still have a lot of issues to campaign on in Russia.
To present the award is a climate activist from Germany who has emerged as a co-organizer of the country's Friday for Future movement. Please welcome Louisa Neubauer.
He was younger than me today when he and Eco-Defense shut down their first nuclear power plant. And it wouldn't be the last. He started a decade-long fight for climate and social justice under some of the most challenging circumstances. In 2014, Russia declared Eco-Defense a foreign agent, dramatically proving the power of Eco-Defense and the dangerous weakness of the authoritarian Russian regime. Yet, he resisted, relentlessly fighting nuclear energy and uranium transport, relentlessly fighting climate destruction, relentlessly defending basic democratic rights. So when I'm out there today, protesting with Fridays for Future, we would hear of this Russian man who, on the other side of the continent, fights against the extraction of the coal that, among others, is burned in German coal power plants. We would hear of a man who connects the dots, who builds power from the grassroots, and who, again and again and again, proves that change is, in fact, possible. This man is Vladimir Slivyak. In our struggle for a livable planet, we need light. Light showing us a path ahead, proving we are not alone in this. Sometimes we have to fight hard to find this light. And sometimes we have to be this light. It is this with great pleasure that I present the 2021 Right Livelihood Award to Vladimir Slivyak.
Thank you. Vladimir, come here. Congratulations. How would you say that the Russian government has reacted to your work?
Well, usually they hate us. I think it's probably the worst time for activism in Russia right now. I've been through many things. I was working in my environmental organization for 32 years, and unfortunately, now it's absolutely the worst time for activism, but I believe we will survive.
Are you ever afraid of your safety and your life?
Well, many people and many activists are afraid of their safety in Russia, or if they're not, they should be. But there are very important things that we work on, and it's actually much bigger things than our fear. So from my point of view, if you started to work on such important things like protecting environment and against climate change, you shouldn't really stop. You should just accept risks and move forward.
What do you think the energy transition in Russia should look like?
Well, we definitely need more renewable energy. Our share, the Russian share of renewable energy in energy balance is less than 1%. We have to work a lot here, and I definitely hope that we will achieve more in the coming years. But right now, of course, we have a lot of things to do with Russia.
Thank you so much.
Well,
the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm honored to receive this prize for the work that IAC and Defense have been doing over last 30 years. And this work was always focused around defending environmental rights of people. And I want to thank my colleagues from Eco-Defense who are with me here today. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to stop all these nuclear power plants. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to stop all these nuclear power plants and the coal mines and teach thousands of kids and children in the school about the environment. Now we have the very important time. We have to transform the society in order to avoid the most catastrophic consequences of climate change. We need to phase out fossil fuel in the visible future, and we have to be very careful about technologies that we let in instead of a fossil fuel. We shouldn't let nuclear power to get the place of a fossil fuel because it's also very dangerous technology. We want renewable energy to be developing. And this is the time when the world really needs activism, because the activists are those people who actually make a change. And I want to dedicate this prize to all activists in Russia who are tirelessly fighting for the climate, against coal, against nuclear and other bad technologies. We are living in a very difficult time when Russian political regime is putting heavy pressure on the civil society. And the most important human rights group in Russia, Memorial, is about to be closed down by Russian government now. I mean, keep watching this. There is a very important court case going on right now in Russia. Being an activist in Russia today is very hard. There is extremely high risk of imprisonment. There is lack of resources and unfortunately, lack of support from a society. At the same time, a lot of very important changes in the society happened only because activists have been there and did their very hard work. Activism is what truly changes the world, but the activism also needs to be protected and supported. Let's make all possible efforts to honor and protect activists. Let's celebrate activism worldwide and make the world a better place, and let's avoid the climate change. Thank you very much.
The Right Livelihood Award is actually so much more than just the usual award. The laureates can enjoy support for the rest of their lives, whether it is advocating for their cause at the United Nations or if their lives are under threat. So now the 2021 laureates are a part of a big global community and will be protected for many years to come. And now it's time to talk to another change maker. We have Andreas Magnusson here from Fridays for Future. Give him a hand.
Hi.
Love your outfits.
Thank you.
So, what do you find inspiring by this year's laureates?
I think the most inspiring to me is that these people have been going for so long, and I'm 17, and to see what they have done for so many years, it's truly inspiring, and to also see how they have never given up. It is something that I will carry with me, so I don't give up.
So you have been very outspoken about the fact that the UN Climate Change Conference in Glasgow was a big failure. What is the way forward to avoid a climate catastrophe?
Fight. Basically.
Fight in what way?
Activism. Because the change will not come from the politicians and the people in power. It will come from the people. It will come from the activists. Because as long as the people don't want to change, then we won't change. And so it's important that we do the work that we do.
So there's a lot of people tuning in this evening. Maybe some people have lost hope. They think they can't do anything. What would you say is the first step to make a change?
Dare. It's what I usually say, because if you dare to read, if you dare to say, if you dare to ask someone, then you will get the tools in order to actually do something. And when you finally act, you get hope.
And what is Fridays for Future working on right now?
Activism?
Yeah.
No, we're planning strikes as usually, and trying to do our best in that way.
How long have you been an activist?
Since 2017.
Are you enjoying your choice?
I am enjoying it, every bit of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Give
you.
him some love. Thank you. And now it's time for Loreen to enter the stage again. She's going to perform her lovely song, I'm In It With You.
that you're bleeding in a dry spell. What were you thinking? Why did you let go when I was right there with you? What were you thinking? What didn't I know? 'Cause I ain't right here with you. If you ever fall, I'll lift you up. If you lose your way, I'll pave your one. 'Cause I'm in it with you. I'm in it with you. You took a blade and went in deeper, and it was tearing up inside you. Must have been sharper underneath, 'cause there were scars I couldn't undo. What were you thinking? Why did you let go? When I was right here with you. What were you thinking? Why didn't I know? When I am right here with you. And if you ever fall, I'll lift you up. If you lose your way, I'll pave your one. 'Cause I'm in it with you. I'm in it with you. If you ever fall, I'll lift you up. If you lose your way, I'll pave your one. 'Cause I'm in it with you. I'm in it with you, with you, with you, with you. I'm in it with you. With you. No matter where you are, no matter where you're from, I'm in it, and I'm in it, I'm in it with you.
Thank you so much, Loreen. Amazing. Great job. Just twirl away. Okay, it's time to get to know the next laureate of the evening. Freda Huson is a female chief for the Wet'suwet'en people in Canada. Since 2010, she's become a leading advocate for the indigenous communities reconnecting with their land and reclaiming control. The past years, Freda has worked relentlessly to protect the territory of her people, whose land and sources of water and food for both humans and animals are under severe threat.
Well, the gas pipeline's a threat mainly to our water, our salmon, and the wildlife, because that's our way of life. We depend on the salmon. And if that project goes ahead, gas explodes and it could destroy the natural setting for our water and wildlife.
In 2010, Freda Huson moved into a log cabin on her people's traditional territory. Since then, she has been the coordinator of the Unasuten camp that now includes the Center for people seeking to reconnect with the land and heal from colonial trauma. The Unasuten camp has also emerged as the main gathering place for people opposing the construction of the coastal gas link pipeline.
Well, through Wet'suwet'en law, we only take what we need and we give back, and we take care of the land so the land can take care of us. And the colonial systems are all about an economic wheel, and more so today, it's take, 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 and give nothing back. Now, the Canadian government is the ruling law, and right now they use, to their advantage, they use what they call injunctions to criminalize us for being on our own land. I am here today to make the UN aware of a continuous genocide happening in Canada and to demand that our Indigenous rights and laws are respected. They're using militarized police to remove us from our land if we try to get in the way of what they deem as critical infrastructure. Well, just even last week, they had militarized police pointing guns at elder and women that were unarmed and forcibly removed them off the land. A year ago, when myself, my sister, and my niece got arrested, and once we got arrested, there was an outrage in all of Canada, and Canada ended up getting shut down because they shut down railways and everything when they had us in jail. So there was a mass amount of support because they knew what we were doing is right. Everybody needs to stand up, not just Indigenous people. Everybody needs to stand up to the political powers that be, that they need to change. It felt good that we had so much support, and it's our hopes that the powers that be would wake up and see what they're doing is wrong, and even for their own children and grandchildren's benefit, that if you take care of the land, their grandchildren will be taken care of too, but if they destroy it, there'll be nothing left for their children and grandchildren.
Huson's actions have set the pipeline project back by years. However, it still remains under construction and threatens the water and the land.
We're right now battling them through the legal system and have been slowing them down. I think they're 4 years behind on their project, and through our legal measures, we've cost them a lot of money, making demands on them that we think was outrageous, but they were doing it anyways, but it's costing them money to do it. The whole world is watching what Canada is doing, what the province of BC is doing. They haven't done their job. They're skirting the responsibility over to industry. And I know I'm doing the right thing.
And here to present the award is Maxida Märak, who you heard earlier perform on the stage this evening. Coming from the Sami indigenous peoples, she is passionate about to educate people how to deal with everyday racism and how to fight it with love. Please welcome Maxida Märak.
I grew up knowing from the start that I had to fight my way through life. I come from a culture of misfits. Some call us savages. I call us protectors. Janitors of the mountains, the reindeer, the water, the wind. It became clear that I had to know every chapter of my people's history from a very young age to be able to defend my future. They asked me, what will be the solution? Do we still have hope? For thousands of years, they've tried to kill us, but we are still here. Because in the end, there will be those who learn how to live with nature that will survive. Those who try to control her will always lose the battle. No money in the world can save us from that. And today, time has changed. Our ancestors paved the way for us. And now we see the first generation of natives take place in the circle of power positions, such as journalists, artists, lawyers, politicians, scientists, the list goes on. And one of those people that took on the responsibility to fight for her people with her position, never to back down, is this amazing person, Indigenous sister and a spirit of hope, Freda Huson, of the Wet'suwet'en people. She defends her people's land and culture fearlessly. So never you shut up, my native. It is thus with great pleasure that I present the 2021 Right Livelihood Award to Freda Huson.
Congratulations, Freda. Come here, come here. Are you good?
Yep.
What does it mean for you to represent your people on the world stage here tonight?
I believe it means a lot because, as I say, this is not my award. This award belongs to the many people, whether you cooked, whether you cleaned, whether you stood beside me to protect the water, is all of our award.
And what is your people's vision as you're reclaiming the territory?
We envision our young children not having to fight to live on their land, not having to fight to have clean water, to live in peace and harmony with the land.
And how do you think that this award can help you in your work?
This award can help in the work by educating many more people out there that this is for all, not just for the Freda Husons and the other laureates, but every human being has their part to stop climate change and to make a better future for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you so much. The stage is yours.
So as all of us are well aware about climate change, and it's the people that are change we need, we can't rely on politicians or governments to make the change for us. So all of us have to be a part of that change. Thank you also to the many folks who have stood by us during this fight, whether you were fellow Wet'suwet'en, fellow Canadians, or from the United States. There are many people who have stepped forward to help us with our fight. Step forward to raise awareness about the environment, fight for the future generations, and a fight which we are all in together. Thank you.
The Right Livelihood Award was established to highlight visionary changemakers and to bring a diversity of voices into the global conversation. Each laureate has contributed to the well-being of people and the planet in very unique ways. Let's take a moment to remember and recognize the work of laureates who have left us in the past 2 years. Maxida. Amazing. Amazing, thank you. It's time to present the last laureates of the evening. What happens when a big construction project is planned in the community and the people who live there face the threat of having their environment and food supply destroyed? Legal Initiative for Forest and Environment, or LIFE, is an Indian organization that works with communities facing threats just like that. And it all started with lawyers Ritvik Dutta and Rahul Chaudhary.
We have about 20% of India legally classified as forest, out of which actual area under forest would be in around 11% of India. The issue with regard to deforestation is severe because we lose about 100 acres of forest every day, diverted for different uses, whether it's mining, whether it's road, because of hydropower, because of coal mining. India has the largest number of forest-dependent people. And the number of people dependent on forests for livelihood is roughly in the region of 250 to 300 million. That's equal to the population of Brazil, Argentina, and Australia combined. So if you destroy forest, you not only destroy trees, the flora and fauna, but you take away the livelihood of people, because people are directly dependent on forest.
We first do the GIS-based ground truthing. And also we go to the site and assess the area, and then how much these communities are dependent on the forest. And then whenever such kind of permits are granted, we help them first to understand the issue, that how they are going to affect it. And then if situation required, then they are to challenge those permits, then we help them to go to the courts and then challenge those permits on their behalf.
In 2010, LIFE helped stall a large-scale bauxite mine project by Vedanta, a British company in the eastern state of Odisha. With help from LIFE, the Dongria Kond tribal people brought a case against the project because their land would have been devastated by the mine. India's Supreme Court said that the community needed to agree before the company could get a mining permit. The case is often called the most significant victory in the history of environmental lawsuits in India. In the end, the Dongria rejected the proposal for the mine in what became India's first environmental referendum.
So over the period of 10 years, we represented the Dongria Kond tribal community directly before the different courts, whether it is the NGT, whether it's the Central Empowered Committee of the Supreme Court, and finally the Supreme Court. We provided them the much needed legal support. But at the end, the key to the success of this case was basically the Dongria Kond themselves. Their resolve that under no circumstances we will accept any package, any deal with the company, is what made the difference.
LIFE has continued to stand up against powerful interests, threatening the well-being of people and nature, securing better environmental protections for communities across India.
So it was not only the Dongria Konds, after that the jurisprudence has been used by the courts in other cases. And all the communities now asserting their rights on the forest, and they are not bowing down to the companies who try to damage their forest, which is their primary livelihood.
Our next presenter is the agronomist, the president of the Swedish Society for Nature Conservation, and the president of the European Environmental Bureau. Please welcome Johanna Sandahl.
Distinguished laureates, ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor to be here tonight to hand over this prestigious prize. In the globalized world of today, it's more important than ever to highlight the struggles and to celebrate the victories of the global environmental movements. We are connected in the flow of goods and services, connected in our need for a healthy, livable planet, and connected in our fight for environmental democracy and justice. Ritvik Datta and Rahul Chaudhry realized that people in their part of the world, India, often had no means of defending their land and forests against corporate interests. So they founded Legal Initiative for Forest and Environment, or LIFE, to stand up for people's rights to a healthy environment and to protect their livelihoods. LIFE has been instrumental in some of the most important environmental legal victories in India. It is thus with great pleasure that I present the 2021 Right Livelihood Award to Ritvik Datta and Rahul Chaudhry, founders of Legal Initiative for Forest and Environment.
Congratulations. Come here, come here. Come forward. Rahul, why would you say it's important to work hand in hand with local population?
Local population or communities who are defending their land and air and water are suddenly taken by surprise or pushed to margin when government decides that they want some activities there. So to defend their rights, I think, to defend or to protect the environment, we need them in association to work with the government and everyone.
What would you say is the vision for environmental democracy in India?
We see a country where communities have the right and ability to influence the decision with regard to environment on which the life, the livelihood, and the culture depends. We also see a society where the concept of rights extends and is not limited only to humans, but extends to animals, trees, rivers, and all ecosystems.
And what do you think this award can help you with in the future? Yeah, applause for that. Thank you. I love that.
Thank you.
What do you think this award can help you with in your work?
I think we get connected to an amazing number of change makers across the world who are part of the Right Livelihood family. And we, as being part of the family, we will gain by sharing, by learning, and by strengthening our fight for environmental justice in India.
Thank you so much. The stage is yours.
Thank you. And first of all, I would really like to thank every jury member of the Right Livelihood Award for choosing life and in recognizing life's work in furthering environmental democracy and the rule of law. We would like to thank everyone who has been part of life's journey over the last 20 years, 2 decades. First of all, definitely to the local communities. They are the first line of defense. They are the victims, and they are the fighters. They reposed faith on us to take on their battle to the courts. We remain grateful to them. Next, and very important, I think it's a rare breed, but we are grateful to the visionary judges of the courts who have given new meaning and substance to environmental jurisprudence. We are thankful to some bold forest officers in India who are defending India's forest against all odds. They're very, very important people, and I think very important as the international supporters, national supporters who have allowed us to continue with this work, our mission. And finally, I think for every team member, past and present, of Life, who have helped Life evolve as an institution to defend environmental democracy in the world's largest democracy. Thank you.
This evening reminds us all that democracy, human rights, and the well-being of people and the planet are not to be taken for granted. But as one of the earliest Right Livelihood laureates expressed it, the future is in our hands. It feels reassuring that people all around the planet are fighting for a better future and a better world. My name is Gina Dirawi. It has been an honor hosting you this evening. Thank you to the presenters, the laureates, and the audience, and all of you engaging at home. And now it's time for the last artist of the evening. His name is Caspar Camitz, and he's here with the song If You.
Say if you always say sorry, that we take away your pride. A change has to come. Say you lay him flat on. Say if you really want it, if you really need it, come a little closer, dig a little deeper. If you really want it, if you really need it, come. Say if you always say I'm sorry, we take away your pride and hurt your heart. And well, a change has to come, I promise you, my love. If you really want it, if you really need it, come a little closer, dig a little deeper. If you really want it, if you really need it, come a little closer, dig a little deeper. If you really want it, if you really need it, come a little closer, dig a little deeper. If you really want it, say if you really need it, say if you really want it, say if your heart's been fooled by you, say if your heart's been fooled by you, say if your heart's been fooled by you. Come on, say if your heart's been fooled by you. we take away.